You're the early bird. He's just waiting to go to the 4 o'clock meal for old people.
Right. Early diner meals.
Uh,
If you find yourself watching this today, we will be watching Justin's pick. I'll let him pronounce the name because I'm sure I'll butcher it because I'm tired.
Predestination.
Predestination.
And
A
as a man who grew up with Catholic in his religion,
I stumble words. I looked at this movie and I realized as I'm watching this is a self help. This movie it very much is a self help book because he's helping
so
themselves each way through the movie. That's why the title says, the movie about self love. That's what I took from this movie. But why did you pick this movie?
um, I didn't think anyone else had seen it in the group.
I
There's no
hadn't
reason
seen it.
why.
And that's like I like the story. I thought it was interesting, fascinating, intriguing, and I was pretty sure no one else had seen it. And the first time I mentioned it, Jackie was still in the group, and I thought it would fuck with his head.
You know what it reminded me of was Time Enough for Love, and that
Time Enough for Love is a good story.
no, but I don't want to spoil anything. But it does remind me a lot of that.
Yeah, there is a recursive plot twist in this movie.
Yes.
Not so much of a plot twist, just a plot. Ew.
What if the scenario in Back to the Future went all the way? Like 3 times.
Yeah. How long did it? All right, you picked up this movie. It had a very interesting cast. Ethan Hawkins is a great actor. I've enjoyed most of
Hawk?
the roles he's done.
It's funnier to say Hawkins.
Yeah,
Hawkins,
it's Ethan Hawke.
that too. Like I said, I'm tired. Um, this movie, I had to drink. When I started watching this movie, I started drinking. Um,
Now that's a bad thing to do.
Well,
But you're like, did I miss something? Do I just feel like the things are going wrong?
I had to watch this movie twice. That means I had to pay to watch this movie twice.
oh, you shouldn't have paid. You should let me know. I would have given you
The
a
link,
good boy link.
yeah. No, my normal places to go find this movie, it was not streaming on via StreamYard or the high seas on people's I normally go. But
Definitely, I could have given you a link. You should always, before you pay, give me a
Just
shout.
suggestion. You should do that first whenever you suggest a movie.
yeah, that's like $8. I'm never getting back. Uh,
Yeah.
It's the 4 hours he's more mad about than paying to see.
you know how much more? You know how much beer I had to go through. Actually, I think Jack would like this movie. This is kind of his kind of pick. It's weird, and what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, but it is degenerate.
Sorta.
So,
Crafty, how you doing?
Hey, look. I don't know if no, and I'll wait a little bit. But otherwise, I'm going to say something that's going to, does this count as masturbation? I mean, with self-love.
Yeah, I think that was the joke, the self-love joke
Yeah.
Connell was making.
Yeah.
Does it count if it's a
it?
redhead? I don't know. There's a lot of memes here.
Except for the normal questions, I really didn't have. I really didn't know what to ask. This movie was just kind of just. Other than how long did it take you to realize the meat and potatoes of this story, Justin?
The first time I watched it, it was, I think, they were still in the story part. The story part, probably around the part where they're sitting in the stall, the what you call the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, around then. But the fizzle bomber, you get that right away.
Yeah.
Like I got he's the fizzle bomber when I realized it was a time travel show and the case got pushed towards him like right at the beginning. But but the Back to the Future storyline got all the way. I did not get until about a third of the way into the film the first time I saw it. If I remember correctly, but it's been like I watched it when it first came out, so.
There was something in there about it, but the first part where the face gets burned off, which is what, in the first 5 minutes, and I see someone push the suitcase. I said, there's something off about that, and so that did not. And then the other part is when they say, "Oh, your voice and face have changed." Then that was starting to tell me something was off, and then of course it was confirmed when they decided to do the first time travel. Where they go downstairs. I was like, "Oh, okay," because it's going, who is this person that they're talking to, and what's going on? That was. That's where I was going. Okay, why is he here in the bar? And then once they moved that, I said, "Oh, okay, everything clarifies for me. There's no real surprises."
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, I rewatched it this afternoon at 2:00, and it's the first time I realized that the big bomb, the big explosion, happened because Ethan Hawke's character shot himself at the end there. Like the terrorist attack that started the whole "we need to stop this guy," the big one, was because he didn't actually stop the big terrorist attack that he was trying to. Yeah, that last explosion was not actually the fizzle bomber. It was the fizzle bomber's intended target.
I wasn't sure, like you said, you got that. I wasn't sure because they were talking about, hey, we're going to change things. And then that was if he's like, well, you're going to shoot yourself, that was, and maybe I just didn't pick that. Maybe I just missed that last little part.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that he was doing all the stopping stuff, but yeah, when it wasn't working,
well, he was accepting collateral damage in smaller numbers than the larger incidences that he was stopping, and that's why I figure that last event he killed himself before he could stop the large attack that incited the institution existing in the first place. Right?
I kind of figured that was the intention, but I also got the feeling when he starts talking about the woman that he met.
Yeah.
And he says, we're doing this. And so I thought it was that he was intended to shoot him, but he was trying to say, no, we can change our fate if you don't shoot.
Yeah.
That was the way I got it.
He was trying to do that, the old version of him.
Yeah.
Like, don't, and none of this will happen in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't kill himself at the end, spoilers, if you didn't get it, this show's always been spoilers. If he doesn't kill himself at the end, the time travel institution never has the fizzle bomber as its primary motivation, so it never exists, or at least it doesn't exist in the way that's needed for the whole closed loop cycle to start in the first place.
Well, it also makes you wonder because he keeps saying that he travels back and forth to stop all the other explosions, his older self. So I always felt that in some ways it was the one, who I don't say is the one gentleman that introduced him to everything. Yeah,
Mr. Rogers, Mr. Ryan.
I figured that he was the one trying to set all this stuff up.
Mr. Robinson.
I figured it was.
Yeah. Well,
it was second.
Go call. Yeah.
It was the second time watching because the first time, like, what the fuck did I just watch? Because I was drunk. The second time watching it, and even the first time watching, I'm like, oh, okay. When they're walking downstairs, well, I knew it was a time traveling movie because they set it up as a time traveling movie, and he's on one last mission, but they set him up as a partner. Okay, it has something to do with bombing. Okay, and he's like, "What if I could put the person in front of you that ruined your life?"
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
it's yourself.
he knows who this person is. He already knows who this person is.
because it's him.
Okay. Then when they're walking downstairs and he starts singing I Am My Own Grandpa, I'm like, it's the same person. All these people are just one person.
Mm-hmm.
The baby, when she was she until she become he becomes him becomes Bomber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got it. And that's like what's what the first 10 minutes of the movie, less than that.
No, that stairway scene is around the 40-minute mark, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well,
but I mean they pushed everything forward. We can see where it's going. But as soon as it goes back in time and says, "Oh, yeah, I need you to kill someone," and then he meets, it's kind of thing like, "Oh, everything's registering all over again." And I said, "All right, that nailed it for me." And I was like, "All right, let's see where this goes." Where they're just kind of fleshing it out. I'm still all right. But to be fair, they telegraphed everything beforehand. So if you fell off, you don't feel like you were cheated, like they just blindsided you. They gave
everything
plenty
was
of clues.
there. You just had to look for it. Everything was very much just right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it is based on a 1950s, 1960s short story.
Something zombies.
All You Zombies.
All You Zombies. Yeah.
And it reminded me, like I said, Time Enough for Love, where they create a clone of himself and then he has sex with his clones.
Well, there's
the same author, right?
Is that Heinlein?
Yeah, Heinlein.
There has been cases where twins, not twins that look like each other, but twins separated at birth, getting together as adults and hooking up, not knowing they're naturally just attracted to each other. So why wouldn't
yes, but when we're talking Heinlein knew who his clones were. They just decided to replace his X chromosome, well, his Y chromosome, with an X chromosome. So then,
I get it. I mean, I'm just
and then he slept
using
with
real life case studies in a movie that's based about masturbation.
Well, yeah, is it self-love? Is it sex? Are you still a virgin? I thought that was, some of the things. The other part that and in some ways, this also reminds me of 12 Monkeys, where they go back.
Yeah.
And, it's the.
And the
well, that's why they changed the name to Predestination for the movie, because it's like you are the you can't undo the things you've already done, kind of.
I get that.
Taking another step up the flight of stairs will only get you to the top of the stairs. It won't get you somewhere else.
I don't know. I think I would have changed the name if I was responsible for naming this movie. I think I would have went with something else than what we got.
I think Predestination is a fine name for what it was, which is
it's a paradox.
Yeah. But the fact is, like, you're already at the outcome of your story, right? Like that's the point of
it's actually more of a bootstrap paradox.
When Jack, the male version of Jill, is wanting to kill the guy that ruined his life, he's already there because he is that guy. He's previously at the destination of ending that guy's existence by going back in time and meeting her in the past. Like that's the thing. Every single time when you get to the end of your story, the only thing you'll find there is yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing that one. I'm just saying
it's a very, very philosophical story.
Yeah, this is as I'm thinking about the different variations of paradoxes, this one would be considered a bootstrap paradox because it was going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, self-fulfilling.
Well, he had the choice to change it, and he chose not to. To be
he could have several times. He could have walked away from the meeting instead of staying with the female self, and he didn't, which caused his own birth. He could have not killed himself, which would have led to the time agency never going after the Fizzle bomber, which would have meant he never existed, right? And that's the thing. That's the thing with Mr. Robertson or whatever his name was. He's the guiding hand to keep Ethan Hawke's character on course, right? Like even the error malfunction I call BS on for the time machine.
Oh yeah, the violent machine said error. Basically, welcome to retirement. Then about a minute later, it does what it does. I don't think he had a choice. I don't think he ever had any choices in his entire life. I think it was all planned out for him.
It is planned out for you, but you still have a choice.
You have the choice to keep on the path.
Yeah.
Like you can either be a slacker and do nothing, or be
as people looking inside the window to the situation, we can see the choices. But I think if somebody was put in this situation where there is no left, there is no right, there's just down the road. I don't think this person saw choices. He was obsessed with catching this bomber. Yeah. He was getting screwed by his handlers.
Those handlers kept him. His handlers kept him taking another step up that flight of stairs. But like he had the option. Like anyone who goes up a flight of stairs, you have the option to stop midway and turn around and go back down.
Well, he had the option in the very first part of the in the bar, and when he meets himself, it's literally like, oh, kind of like how they dawn on each other when they left, when he leaves her, or himself, all the options are there, and instead it's like, oh, I know why this occurs, and they keep following it through. There's that aspect, but I just, it's you chose, just like when he shot himself. It's like, well, I would have sat there and talked to myself a bit longer at least. It's like, if I'm going to kill you, at least I have, another, hey, you know what? Look, I'm going to kill you, but let's have a beer and let's just talk, Yeah.
Well, you bring that point. Like every time there's a revolution in the character's life, the character is given blatantly the option to do what you're told and go down the same path that leads you to the person you're talking to, or don't. Like, if you pay attention, it's made fairly clear to that person, I'm you, right? So if you do what I tell you to do, you'll end up right back in this moment.
But, I think the only time that it was in the bar, but when quote she goes back and meets herself.
That moment is the staircase scene.
Yeah.
Right. Because you always have the introduction before the revelation, right? And most of that when I was a girl narrative scene, which is like great opening line. When I was a girl.
But I mean, it's I remember this, and then as soon as you knew what was going to go on, like I wish I could kill myself, and then goes back and meets his female version. Then you go, okay, and so right there they knew, and chose, and then when he leaves himself, at the bench, right there, they knew. There's like 4 or 5 crucial points where at any point they can just simply say, I'm getting off, and I'm done.
But of course, cosmically, getting off the closed loop is suicide, because the second you prevent your mother from meeting your father, you cease to exist. Which of course that means your mother and father cease to exist because they're
but I mean, but we talk about a time paradox, but at that point it's different choices go in there, and I'm sure that there's some version out there where he made different choices.
I think in this particular case, there couldn't be, because
He is
he's
quite literally his mother and father.
he
He
Yeah,
gave
is
birth to himself.
he's not the Holy Trinity, but he is the absolute Trinity.
Yeah,
well, but the point being is when they usually talk about it
Yeah.
is that you have divergent timelines. So this timeline you don't exist, but this one you keep on going forward where you changed it, and that's whenever you talk about
Yeah.
fracturing all through there.
But
But
I don't think
yeah.
this character can fracture in this sequence of events. I don't
I
think this
think
character can.
I think that also the part is as much we talk about this, it was the one time the character was happy. I mean, that sounds funny, but it's like, well, do I want to kill myself and deny myself that one joy that I did have?
Yeah.
It's the um,
I
so
just don't
there's
think this person would not exist if he makes a choice at any point. The choice would have had to be made after. No, I mean
No,
after.
be,
There's no getting off the ramp. There's no turn off.
because even the events after he gets the face change and becomes the barkeep,
Yeah.
lead to the fizzle bomber, which is the inspiration for the agency in the first place.
and
So
it also
you don't have time travel without the fizzle bomber.
I just want to know how they came across this person, because this person does not exist in anything other than normal time. He does not. He has his mother and his father is the same fucking person
As him,
as him. Yeah. So
he
it's
is literally his own grandfather
well,
continuously
and it's the
all the
guy
way
not
who
back.
and it goes back to the manipulation. If you look at it, you have to steal the child. You have to do this. There's a lot of things, regardless of what goes on. It's not that you can't change your past. You can, but the point being is that if you do so, then
you can change your past. I can change my past. Connell can change his past with time travel. The barkeep
I disagree.
cannot.
I disagree just because they talk about how they fractures, and in one timeline you existed and you chose this, and the other one you don't. You can still change the future for it. That said, I think that the person really wanted to have everything occur for that. It's like, but I still find it funny. He's going, okay, well, you find that one woman. He looks at, and, you'll have some kind of life. It's like, oh, okay.
That
Go
time
back in time and
between
bang
shooting
it out.
himself and
Yeah.
and falling into his madness. Yeah. I don't know, man.
No. It's just. I mean, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a mathematician, anything. But
I think this is
just-
philosophy, bro. You just fall
this
into
is
philosophy.
very much flawed. Yeah.
Yeah. This is your what if, time
Okay,
travel.
you could get a seed. I'm just like trying to. I just need to let it go. I just need to.
Yeah.
My issue is how the fuck did the original come to be?
Well, that's why it's called a closed loop. The
But you need-
origin
it's like-
is the origin. The origin is the origin.
Yeah.
But
This
there's
is a continuous, constant point in time fuckery. It's because there is time fuckery happened.
anyway.
Fuckery happened. There is time fuckery.
Well, I'm going to also bring this up. Is what is it? You said Mr. Robinson or whatever.
Yeah,
He knew everything that was going on.
Yeah.
There's your master manipulator.
Yeah. He was the train always keeping things on course, but like Mark put a video in the chat I watched earlier.
Oh, they explaining it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch that.
Just in case there was anything that I missed. And it just goes on calling that character an allegory for God or whatever.
I'm going to bring up the other point too. Is
which I could buy. Like
I don't view that as God. I view it as the Mr. Robinson being the god because it's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, that's the character that
Oh, okay.
it was referring to, like as a
Yeah.
guiding hand to keep things, but only subtle, right? Like only a very subtle touch that character ever had on anything.
Well, he told him what to do. That's not that subtle. I mean,
I mean, when they were, God, these pronoun games.
yeah. Stop
When-
saying they when it.
I say
I
he.
know it never becomes an it because in one juncture it could have an egg, give birth, in another juncture it could get somebody pregnant. Therefore, it is a he to a she. It's not an it. An it is a person that can't do either.
No. It can be both too.
Yeah, it is. It is a truly binary. I should be saying he because it was she because it was technically female at birth.
It was
But they,
identified as female at birth. And this
No,
was
it
before
was
we had the
born as
video.
a female.
This was before, but no, I have
Yeah.
to laugh because that was the other part. As soon as they said, "Oh, that was where I really got it." Oh, congratulations! Oh, I can now, I'm
Yeah.
fertile. It's like no, they
welcome to the tribe.
yeah. And I was like,
well, the dude
that
tribe,
telegraphed the whole thing right from there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
there are constant telegraphs,
yep.
but it's watching the diversion from the expectation that is not blatant or over your head. It's always a subtle pass through. It's very minute, right? And it's
Normally at the end of the show, I'd ask, and I'm going to ask it now. I'll probably ask it to Mark. But I'm going to, as I'm thinking about this, would you recommend who would you recommend this movie to?
everyone, just because it would fuck with their brains, whether they're into this kind of stuff or not. Everyone, this is the kind of thing that makes you think, and everyone should be forced to think from time to time.
I for myself, this is since we're doing time travel for the whole thing. And what's the next one? Is it
Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure?
Okay, well, you pick that one.
That's not a thinking man's movie.
No. Well, I was thinking about the original. What was it called?
The Time Machine.
No, I'm thinking of Keaton. Michael J. Fox.
Oh,
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
the one that didn't go there.
He goes back in time. He screws up his dad peeping Tom and his mom just being frisky. So he has to save them, try to get them back together so she doesn't get manhandled by Biff. Yeah, I didn't realize how much of a rapey movie that movie was.
Oh, really rapey.
Is it rapey or is it just
Well, Biff wasn't going to take no for an answer,
and his mom didn't want to take no for an answer either.
Right?
Exactly. Well, I thought part 2 she married him. It was
after he killed the dad. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different time traveling movie.
You know what? Why you picked Bill and Ted's? I'm like, the second one was okay. Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean,
I'm just teasing you about it.
I was giving Shadow shit a couple videos ago where I was telling him that technically Planet of the Apes doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because it's Earth. It's post-apocalyptic Earth.
But it has a spaceship in it.
And time travel.
Barely.
Time travel. Well, and the time travel sort of time travel. It's more of like Buck Rogers style time travel.
Yeah.
Where you get frozen for a certain period of time.
Oh, there's like a wormhole thing or whatever.
Was it a wormhole? I didn't think so. I thought that they would gone out for so long, and then they come back.
They hit a spatial anomaly and it flung them into the future.
I thought
they were supposed to be going to Mars.
I'll have to go watch it.
I'll be back in a minute.
But that's okay. I mean, when you start looking at all these time travel paradoxes, and that's this one doesn't have a paradox, oddly enough. Because a lot of them, Well, a lot of them have paradoxes. You're like, well, wait a minute, how does this work if you did this or things like that? This one has no paradox. It is, you know, we don't know what happens after.
No, this one is just, this one. The one he picked, I think, would be classified as a bootstrap paradox, because no matter what, the ending is still going to be the way it ends.
Yeah, but that's not a paradox.
Him existing is a paradox.
Yeah, that's the closest thing. I'm just glad you didn't pick butterfly effect.
Oh, the Ashton Kutcher one. Yeah, that one was weird. It wasn't weird. It was just
All of them are weird for time travel. I mean, whenever we talk about time travel, this is one of the reasons that I did not like Star Trek is the over reliance on it. This one's at least a whole story for what it goes through. Same with Babylon 5. But the others are like, oh, we'll just change them as however we feel like, rather than being a unique one-time event. That's why I didn't like Star Trek. Like, well, if you could just go back in time, then what does it matter?
at least he didn't pick the Christopher Reeve Somewhere in Time movie as a time traveling movie.
Which one was that one? I can't remember.
You
mean Superman?
Yeah, it's Christopher Reeve's, and it's Christopher Reeve's movies, and he buys all the clothes from the 1920s. He makes sure everything he's wearing when he decides to do this is the 1920s, and he mentally pushes himself back through time to the 1920s. It was it's a love story, but it was just weird.
Well, what was the other one? At least we didn't have to the time travelers or whatever.
Hot tub.
No. At least they're abreast in that one.
I think Mark's choice is the original time travel time machine.
Well, it was one of them. The time machine's one of the original. There's also Yankee in the King Arthur's Court, which was the book. But yeah, I
think Disney did a movie. Anyways,
you mean back when Disney was family friendly?
I recently just saw something Disney outside of the X-Men movie that I really appreciated from Disney. Oh wait, it was me turning off the TV.
I don't watch Disney Plus. I'm like, there's not enough there. Which is the fact Disney screwed over gargoyles has forever embittered me towards them. See, there's a time travel paradox that I enjoy.
The gargoyles?
That's definitely a frozen in time, though. Not that I have a problem with that.
No. There's a point where they go back in time.
Oh, the Japanese storyline.
So yeah.
Season 3 was it?
No, I thought it was season 2 because season 3 does not exist to me. It's just like it was wonderful for 2 seasons and it got canceled.
I think the last episode I kind of caught was he was going down the river in a boat with his daughter.
But part of that's what's going on is that's part of the they say which was kind of cool. They said, "Oh, where you get to go home?" He says, "No, you don't understand. It takes you where you need to be, not where you want to go." And then they have all those different adventures.
That's actually, for RPG, that's a hell of a hook.
That is, I to be honest, I love gargoyles for that. It was one of those that
it's kind of railroady, but it's a hell of a hook.
You know what though? It's only railroady if the players don't feel that they can get off of it. Sometimes when you get on the ride, you want to see where it leads. And that's the difference between a railroad, because you can still make choices and change things.
Yeah, like Sliders was another one.
Yeah.
Or even Voyager. The premise is okay as like a forced thing for a short time. But like both those storylines, like that I mentioned, those other 2 shows, Sliders and Voyager, that gets tiresome pretty quickly.
But there's a difference. Sliders was part of the premise is they get to go to different alternate Earths and different dimensions. Whereas Voyager, the problem I had with it is it was Star Trek, and they do it in the original too. It's like they rely on it too much,
Mm-hmm.
And that was the problem that I have with it is, look, if you're in space, why do you have to do holodeck? And why do you have to do time travel? You have all of the wonderful world and space. And it's like, oh, you know what? We're just kind of lazy. Well, we'll do another Shakespeare in the
Well,
holodeck.
space is, also incredibly empty and full at the same time. They could be in a region where there's absolutely fucking nothing there.
I think it was actually, like, in my opinion, it was actually more of a problem with Sliders because they would tease at the end of every season they got home, and then it would be immediately pulled out from under the audience like a fucking rug pull, instead of there being a new reason for them to go sliding again.
You know what though is I don't feel that way because you never know if you can get renewed. So you
Well,
always
yeah,
want players to feel. You always want the audience to feel that they got a satisfactory ending. So it doesn't
Didn't
bother
they?
me for that.
It wasn't an early season that they actually made it home once and not realize it, and they jumped anyways.
yeah. The first season they got home, and Quinn was like, "Oh, I know the one thing we got in the 3 seconds we're here for. I can test the gate to see if it squeaks." And it doesn't squeak, and then they slide, and then a handyman walks out of the house. "Oh, and Mrs. Mallory, I oiled the gate for you."
I think that pissed me off like half for a little bit when I saw my mother. Go back to this movie. Try and get back to this movie. I think this is I think you're right. This is the perfect example of philosophy meets.
This is when a fiction story introduces a concept to you without being preachy or condescending or hateful of its audience. Right? It talked about transgenderism, right? But it didn't beat you over the head with "you have to like it or else."
No, I did appreciate how smoothly they just ran over it.
Well, it didn't force anything because it was a unique person, a unique human being for that, rather than trying to go, well, everyone's this way. You know, it was.
Or tell you that this person's more moral than you for existing.
I
Yeah.
think I know which part of this video Shadow would have stepped away at.
What part?
Well, originally when I was a she.
But I'll bring this up too. I didn't mind it because it didn't feel like it was forced on you. It was part of the the weird part of the character. Yeah, it was story based, and what's funny is this is not one that they ever talk about for that that ideology, and yet this is a perfect story for it.
As I said.
To be fair on this is, the problem is that Shadow sometimes gets mad because an actor took a part in a movie. Like, yes, because actors have to eat,
Yeah.
They
Well,
got bills like the rest of us.
Well, no, we were talking about Jason Momoa, and he's mad at Jason Momoa for taking the part of Conan. I mean,
oh, Jesus.
Come on, guys.
I actually don't think it was bad for Conan.
The worst part of that movie was the writing. It wasn't the actors.
I didn't mind. I'm like, he was a little too young in my opinion, which is fine because Arnold Schwarzenegger was 26, but he looked too young. He had a baby face during that, which is why he grew out the beard. But
trust me, I'm 40 years old. If I shaved, I'd still have a baby face. It's the reason why I don't shave. Well, I don't.
But I mean, those are just things that whenever we're talking about any kind of movie.
I don't shave because I have a double chin.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But this wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't my kind of movie. I would have never seen it. To be fair, I did pay just to watch it because I'm like, But you know what? It's $11.
I told you before. Let me know if you need to play something free. But
you're supposed to provide that. But you know what? But
I will start doing that when it's my turn. Because
no. It's not that I mind certain parts of it, but
well,
it was okay.
Especially with this film, I think because I know it's not like a normal.
Yeah.
Like it is a bizarre film, and it is like
I went through a 12. I went through a 2 6-packs of beers to get through this movie.
This movie reminded
Lies. That was like a fucking 20-minute period for you, Connell.
All right, I went through 24 beers to get through this movie.
But I mean, for me, this reminds me of the 12 Monkeys, a lot. It's not that I didn't hate it. I didn't say it was one I'd definitely recommend. It was okay. That's all I'll say about it. I did think it was internally consistent, which helped. A lot of movies.
It was. It kept on the track, and it very much stayed on the track. You just had to keep up with the fucking train. That's the problem.
Well, some of us don't drink while we watching things, so it makes it a little easier.
I only started drinking when at the point she said when the character said back when I was a woman. I'm like, yep, this is going to be a 6-pack Wednesday.
So we got a porn bot in the chat.
No.
I've seen this person's name before. I've seen him on Bruce's.
Johnny Sins movie. Oh, okay.
So it's not exactly a porn bot. He's talking about porn star, but I don't know.
It's not a bad film. It's one of those that if you want to do it. I was just surprised that Justin picked this one actually.
Why?
It seems fairly intelligent for him.
No, I don't mean that. I mean it was just we're saying great movies or movies we think that people should watch. This is kind of the ones like, oh, okay, should I watch this?
Well, I'm a fan of exposing yourself to.
That's how you get jail time, exposing yourself.
No, not shadows. Kind of exposing yourself. Exposing yourself intellectually to concepts and philosophies and things that make you think, right?
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
It's not exposing yourself to that and then changing your whole worldview to suit a political narrative that you should do.
Yeah.
Like so many people do these days.
Well, and the problem really was it wasn't bad storytelling. It was just a slow movie, which was part of it.
Well, I think it kind of holds true to the short story from what I remember. I remember reading it right after seeing the movie the first time.
Okay.
So if I recall, it does hold pretty tight to that. And that was what, the 60s, 50s, 60s that came out. So you know how things were written back then?
Yeah. Well, I know how Heinlein does, which he doesn't like. He doesn't like writing an ending.
Yeah.
All of his characters either die at the end or let you think that they might have died at the end. But I kind of think that he just got bored and didn't want to write anymore.
Sometimes that does happen sometimes. Sometimes he's just writing a slice of somebody's life, and that's all you need to know about the story.
Speaking of books or sci-fi books, I know I really don't want to do any books as of right now. I mean, I know me and Mark need to get on that Dresden Files novel, but I'm reading Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And the fact that there's a lot of semi-real science behind his books has always amuses the hell out of me.
Well,
the premise could not exactly happen. It was still interesting. It's still an interesting read.
But he was a medical doctor, to be fair. He also did ER. I mean,
yeah.
So he always did that, and I think his first hit was Andromeda Strain.
I just wish I would have saved Timeline.
Until now?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
I'll watch it again.
Everyone you want. You're just lucky we didn't try vetoing you. Like, we already did Bill and Ted. You can't do it twice.
Well, that was the other thing. I said one movie per.
I know.
That was more for this concept because I'm not saying Shadow would, but I can see him try to fit in all.
Well, he said he would.
30 of the Apes movies.
Like, why? No, you know what gets me about it? The first two were good. After that, they started going downhill. And it was like, no. The point is to just get the idea that's there. But if you try to do all 5, which kind of got me about it, it's like, no, you want to get exposed to every different, a bunch of different movies. And if you like the first one, then go see the sequel. Yeah, that's why we're like, okay, otherwise.
Yeah, that's just being an asshole.
Otherwise, we would just say, oh, look, we're going to watch 5 series because they have 30 movies among them or something,
And only really the first one has time traveling. The other ones are just post-apocalyptic Earth.
Yeah.
Well, the third or fourth one has them going back. The monkeys going back.
That's when I got off the boat. I was just like done.
When I was a kid, the Space Channel, right, our Sci-Fi Channel, would play the whole thing in an afternoon during the summer.
Yes.
And I don't mean just the movies. I mean like the TV series as well.
Oh,
and
wow.
I would watch the whole thing straight. So
I remember watching that along with Logan's Run as a kid. There's several of them, but it's like, look, there's a reason that you're trying to just do one. And a lot of them, to be fair about this, sometimes a second movie comes out because it's good. But a lot of times,
it's for money.
Logan's Run's even apocalyptic Earth now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's a post-apocalypse dystopian. I actually find Planet of the Apes more enjoyable than Logan's Run.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we did too many of those films. I can't tell Omenal no to Dread. Darn.
For which one?
Dread.
For Dread, the most recent Dread. Darn.
Technically, the most recent Dread would not meet any of the criteria. Now, the first Dread movie does meet one of the criteria, and that's robots.
Oh. But you know what? I really like the second Dread movie. But you know what?
So do I.
Yeah. I say the one with Carl Urban. I thought that it was really tight. I thought that and what gets me about it was I came back from Afghanistan, and I was like, man, I'd love to see Dread. And then I found out that it had come out the month before and it left theaters by the time I got back to the U.S. It's like, man,
it was a fast run. Holy crap!
Yeah.
That was one I thought that they did a really good job with. I thought that they were relatively true to the characters. I liked it. I think they took some of the plot lines for it. It's like, oh, okay. That said, the problem that I had with the Sylvester Stallone is when they had the whatever the comedian, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's friend.
I know who he is. I can see him.
That's kind of where that's what name he has in my head. Oh, it's Adam Sandler's friend.
Not Andy Dick.
No. It's
well,
he's actually more conservative nowadays.
That's the name he has in my head, not Andy Dick.
Yeah, I saw him doing a speaking thing in California, and how absurd it was that California is voting on giving African Americans X amount of money because of slavery, which California never had slavery.
Well, here's the other part. It's like, okay, to all of the people that were in there, are you going to pay it to the Chinese? I mean, because that's where they did have some slavery, is in the Chinese.
Right.
The point is, it's like, oh, the government's going to pay it back. And my view is, okay, whoever votes for this, it comes out of their paycheck. That's what should happen. It's like, oh, no, we can't do that. It's like, no.
Sorry, dear. We can't do Paris again this year. But, Dad, we've been going there for the last 20 years.
But Dad, what do you mean we can't go to the French Laundry today?
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm sorry, son. We just have to go to Ruth Chris. We can't afford the French Laundry. Ruth Chris is a high-end. It's a higher end.
I know of it. I've never been there, but I know
you
of
know it. But the French Laundry is above that one. So that's
right.
No. And every citizen of California that isn't black should immediately sue for racial discrimination.
No, you know what? This should happen. No, you don't do that. You just claim you're black.
Well, yeah, they deny that.
No. You can't deny it because they're not allowed to because you're allowed to self-identify as whatever you want.
Unless you're doing it racially.
No. No, trust me. You can't. You can claim to be whatever you want, and they cannot question it. I know because so you can claim to be whatever sex or whatever race you want to be, and
I just saw a thing where a guy got fired from a police force for doing that. That's why.
Yeah, then he can sue because they can't.
Yeah, well, he is, but
that's my whole point is that, but they can't do that. Legally, they have to accept whatever you put down on your paper is what you are.
I'm going to start writing down
Lysenkoism. Look into Lysenkoism.
So, is there anything else?
Well, we're just waiting for Mark at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to get his opinion on it.
Well, it says 5 o'clock. He was supposed to be here at 4:30. He said he'd be half an hour late, right?
Yeah, I was like, this 30 minutes starts with a 6. I see.
Well, and at 6, I'm going to go over and I'm going to take a swim before Shadows game.
Yeah, what's that in 2 hours?
Yep, yeah.
What's Shadow doing tonight?
He does. He's running a D&D game.
Sounds like fun.
The problem was we're supposed to go back, but then he wouldn't allow us to train between each adventure kind of thing, which pissed me off. Like, look, if I went up a level, let me at least get up that level instead of just sitting there at level 2 forever.
I'm level 4, man.
It's what?
I'm level 4.
Well, that's cool, but he said that we have to go back, we have to spend a week of training and got 5 days worth of training. Okay. Well, otherwise, yeah, you'd be right. But
is there anything else you guys want to discuss about this movie? Or I think we basically, if you're gonna watch this movie, keep an open mind. It's a halfway decent movie. Make sure you have a 12-pack next to you.
I'm going to say this much.
I didn't drink once during the.
If you're going to do this for a game, would you do this for a PC, or would you only do this for someone that the PCs are trying to track down?
I could see it being one of the PCs, or someone you're trying to track down. I think Looper would be better for a role playing game, but this would be good lore for your world, definitely.
It's just
like a cautionary setting tale or whatever.
You in the very beginning, you have the PC, them chasing after the PC, but the trick is how to get the PC to actually be one of the PCs and it go over smoothly.
I think you're better off picking an NPC for this that they're trying to track down and figure out. But this is very similar to, I guess if you were playing, what is it called? Doctor Who or something. We're like, okay, let's figure this out. And you start finding out the backstory of this character.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, the character is, then the other question is, can you break that character out of the loop? And by doing so, free them. It's kind of that weird thing.
Mm-hmm. Break them out of their loop into non-existence.
Or at least on a different timeline.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this much. And I've mentioned some of the movies. What are some other movies that are very similar in this vein? We've had Back to the Future. We've had The 12 Monkeys. And we've had, what was the other one called? The Butterfly Effect.
Oh, that was a good one.
I
totally forgot about that movie.
What's that?
You have as I said, the Christopher Reeves movie, Somewhere in Time, sort of. But it's a time traveling movie.
Mm.
You got the Donnie Darko? Donnie, what?
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, I guess that's time traveling. It's not time traveling, but it's.
I think the sequel is more time traveling than that one is. But don't watch it; it's garbage. Donnie S. Darko.
Next with Nicolas Cage.
Which one's Nicolas Cage, John?
Next,
Oh, okay.
Next.
where he
I
gets normally only see like 30, maybe a minute into the future.
Yeah,
But-
that was a good film.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a premonition. Like he could see the future.
But he can only see a certain distance, except the really big one, which was like the big giant explosion or something.
Yeah,
But he used it a lot of times for just
card tricks or whatever.
yeah, which I thought was I thought I actually enjoyed that one.
I don't know exactly counts as time traveling.
I would accept it. I would accept pre-knowledge myself, and it's technically the best time travel movie ever. It has Jessica Biel in it.
I mean, you have the last.
I'm just glad that Jess was no like, guys, we gotta watch Powdered Blue every time. Like what?
Powdered Blue. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
You have the last good Marvel movie, Endgame.
I don't actually like Jessica Biel movies. So it's just like she's kind of hot.
She's completely disappeared. You know.
Yeah.
She got married and just decided to have a different life. I think she was married to Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Timberlake. She had a bakery for a while, and then she's done a couple of TV shows on Netflix.
Yeah, no, Endgame counts because they did go back in the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought we had a hard pass on superhero movies.
You're saying superhero, or you're saying time traveling movies, and I'm just throwing them out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying, hey, we're watching Endgame because that doesn't work because you need to watch Infinity Wars to get to Endgame, and that just, like I said, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, you at least gotta watch 2 movies. The others you don't have to watch.
And besides, once we're done this cycle, we're on to like whatever our ad hoc made up theme is that month,
Yes.
right?
I think the next one will be Monsters.
Monsters.
King Kong, Monsters. I'm not.
Well, I mean, we could do then we're back to fantasy and other stuff rather than just.
Oh no, this has to be sci-fi. It has to be sci-fi monsters.
No. I said fantasy. Oh, you're talking about for this year? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, because we kind of took up this. Pick something similar to like The Last Person, but ad hoc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
this time
we
travel
did
because
time
you were
travel.
doing. Yeah,
Before
because
that,
we did it.
It's
like, since you was picking Predestination, like, well, if we're gonna do that, let's go pick some time travel. I said, okay, and then, we'll go back to Terminator 1.
Right, with monsters, there's a lot of sci-fi monsters, alien monsters out there. Movies shouldn't be that hard to pick. We're doing nothing with sci-fi. I'm just trying to find.
We don't even have to have themes. There's so many sci-fi movies out there. I mean, I even put them up. It's not, and to be fair, we've been missing almost a month. We're already like we've only done 6 movies.
I am so sorry about that. My life.
No,
don't worry about it, bro.
Take care of your health, but I mean, just some things. Hey, Mark.
Set for St. Patty's Day. Guys. Holy crap! Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
What's up?
We all got to remember that line from The Room and just start using that when Mark comes in play.
What did you think of the movie?
Oh, what I thought of the movie? I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It's pretty cool.
So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked them. How long did it take you to realize what the hell was going on?
Probably. I think I got into maybe about the halfway or maybe close to 3/4 point. I kind of finally started putting it all together that it was all the same person.
Yeah.
Second question I have is at what point of this movie you think Shadow would have just got up and walked away?
I don't know. He's as far as I know, he's a Heinlein fan. This is based on a short story by Heinlein, right? So I don't know. Maybe you would have liked it for that. I don't know.
My going theory is once the line says was when I was a woman.
Well, when I was a little girl.
When I was a little girl, whatever. I think that was.
Yeah, no, that. The makeup, like you could tell there's something off with her, but that makeup is really good, right? Like there's some uncanny valley shit going on there, but
Yep.
the makeup is like a drubby guy kind of, you know.
Now,
Well, it's not like there's a woman,
Or,
that's, but
like you know that person is not what it seems, but the makeup is really good for the dude transformation.
was this movie actually in the movie theaters at the time? I don't remember it at all.
I don't recall. Very limited run, I think.
Like
Wow.
2 days.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
The grand opening might have been also the grand closing. I have no idea.
let me go look.
So you really liked it. Figured it out halfway through the movie. So you're basically with the rest of us on that thought process.
Oh wow! So it only made $5 million,
Yeah.
and apparently was only open in 13 markets. So yeah, it was a really limited run.
Yeah.
But it made like $44,000 the first week. So it must have been one of these art films they were doing.
Yeah, it's very sad they didn't make its money.
You know what though? It probably was a passion project. So
Yeah, but still, like I think it deserves recognition.
Well, we did it on this show. I don't know how much recognition it's going to get, but we
Yeah.
did it on the show.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. It was a slow burn, and I started putting it together, and I was like, "Whoa, it was a pretty different take on a time travel type story." So I get it, kudos for that. And then but yeah, probably may have done better if it came out a few years later, especially now. I mean, but
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and it was a tight. I mean, it didn't get all caught up in a lot of weird special effects or anything. It had a tight cast and
Yeah.
good character development and everything. It was a good. It gave you a lot to think about. Put it like that.
That it did. You missed it there for a little bit. We were kind of trying to figure out how they even became they, because he is both the mother and the father of himself. How did himself become?
Yeah.
to
Well,
exist.
that's the whole paradox. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Technically, neither.
The rooster. The rooster came first.
Rooster.
The egg came first because fish lay eggs before the chickens.
Bro, it's the joke from the film.
I know.
Somewhere in this movie, I was expecting the line, "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
Oh, that would have been a great. That would have been a great. Like if they passed the whole movie off as like a preview.
This is what Dr. Wu has been working on. I don't know.
The only one that'd be able to probably really give you a definitive answer, and I don't think he would ever answer it, was the director of the
Mr.
unit, Robertson, right? Was it Robertson? Was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, but once it's like I had to watch this movie twice. As I
That's only because you were drunk, Connell. or did you become drunk during the movie, which is a whole
I
different
became
thing.
drunk during the movie. It was
Okay.
like,
Oh.
I'm like, this is starting to feel like one of Jack's picks. What the hell?
No. This isn't that bad.
No, I thought it was really good. I
No,
enjoyed
in the very beginning, I thought it was gonna be one of Jack's picks, but no, I didn't like it, but I didn't dislike it. Would I watch this movie again? Yeah, to get somebody else a headache.
Oh, yeah. Well, I originally thought of this movie, like I said earlier, for this group when Jack was in it and I was in the comments, because I mentioned it a few times. If you go back and watch, just to fuck with him, right? Because I think this movie would really fuck with Jack, but and I still hope one day he sees it. Um, I've tried several times in side chats to get Shadow to make him watch it, but oh,
You're gaming with them tonight. Just keep bringing,
Yeah.
bringing it up. To watch
No,
it.
no, we're
Yeah.
playing with Shadow, but we're not playing with Jack.
Jack, sadly.
Yeah.
But I did get Shadow mentioned this movie and the show today on his show last night
Oh, cool.
because I told him in chat too.
Let's go. Would you recommend this movie to anybody, Mark?
Yeah, the right person if they like more cerebral type sci-fi or movies that that they can, if they have patience enough to sit through it and can handle a slow burn movie. Somebody like my wife, no, because she wouldn't just sit and watch the movie and pay attention. She's like, I don't get it. It'd be one of those right from the get go. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get. Like you gotta watch and let it unfold a little bit. But
Yeah.
she can't. Some people just can't do that, and for those type of people, probably wouldn't recommend. But
you haven't watched the whole movie yet. That's why you don't get it.
yeah, well, you can't.
Well, you know what I heard, and this is terrible. Did anyone ever watch Memento?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, here's what got me. In Canada, apparently, they made sure that it was linear rather than going back and forth.
Oh
In
no.
Oh.
That was during during the movie release. I went, "What are you doing?" Otherwise, the movie is pretty simple if you don't have the trying to figure out what's going on from previously.
I didn't watch the theatrical cut on that, so.
Well, no, it was only in Canada, and we're talking, what, 95, 96 time frame?
Yeah.
So, but apparently when they released it in Canada, not the US, but in Canada,
Yeah,
they put it in, chronological.
Yeah.
Like, why would you put it in chronological order? What made the movie good was the fact that
Was the time skips. It'd be like cutting this movie out and having all the flashbacks during the story sequence play, and then have like a scene where he's telling the story in the bar,
yeah,
or she's telling the story in the bar, and then have the staircase thing. That like it would make no sense.
I know.
I would like.
I saw Memento on Crave, which is one of our streaming services, and it was.
I wish we got that down in the
Buffalo
States
the
because
first time.
Leonard Kinney is amazing.
Leonard Kinney? What?
Leonard Kinney.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a Canadian show. It's
Yeah,
great.
but you just like what triggered that thought?
Crave. It show it. We don't get that. We don't get that station here in the States. At least I don't get it.
Okay, so yeah, Crave is like
I figured it was a TV station like Fox.
yeah, it's like more FX.
Okay.
It's like literally when you go on the Flickr, it's like Crave FX FX or whatever the next one is.
Right.
But it also has like the video on demand function. So you could probably sign up for that and just do because it's its own streaming service. It's primarily a streaming service.
All right, I'll have to look into it. But yeah, there's between that and
it also has a channel. Or at least had one. I don't know.
The show. Same People, Florida has the main guy in it. Short. What doesn't matter.
Shorzy or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Comcast wanted to stop doing it. And the
So,
other character thing.
Mark, I think you're next week.
Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna be available next week because I'm probably be wrapping up Easter dinner probably
Oh
close to the
shit!
time
Next week is Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might just be pulling the plug for most of us, anyways. So, in 2 weeks, it will be Mark. Boy, Easter came fast this year.
Yeah, it did this. Yeah, yep.
Oh wow. That means the day after Easter is April Fool's.
So, Justin, am I reading too far into this or not? But was this movie supposed to be a heavy religious allegory? I mean, or am I too much into it?
I think there are subtle tones of that, at least according to the thing you posted. But like I could see that, especially with the name Predestination. But
Predestination, and the person was that he was kind of like the Trinity character himself.
yeah, I made that joke.
And did you hear
earlier.
about?
Father, the Son, and
Did you hear how many other time agents there were in addition to him or her?
None.
No, how many were there?
11.
11?
Yeah. So I don't know if this
Oh.
supposed to be like the 12 apostles.
Oh, interesting.
I missed that then.
Yeah, they made a mention of there's 11 other there was 11 other time agents besides the Ethan Hawke character, Jane
Yeah.
or John or Jane,
Yeah.
The bartender.
the bartender.
Jane and John Doe.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And they did reference the name of the short story at one point about I forget, You're all
You
zombies or something.
Yeah.
Zombies is the name of the.
All You Zombies.
All You Zombies. Yep.
Yeah. Oldhim says it, doesn't he?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
So do you think the paradox ever result? Do we think the paradox would have ever resolved itself, or do you think it's just going to be a?
No,
he's going to always just keep shooting himself in the.
It's an endless loop, right? He
Well,
already did it.
The point was is that if he doesn't do it, then he never exists in the first place. That's what you missed in the earlier discussion, and I still think that you just diverge into a different timeline, but
but maybe one of those other timelines is the other 11 time agents.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the interesting part. But we did talk about that this movie telegraphed everything well beforehand. So if you watch it twice, like Connell, you begin to pick up on all the little details.
Yeah.
You can't say that I was blindsided. Like, no, they put all the crumbs out there.
I know ever since I seen it, I seen it the year after it came out because it was on Crave. That was what 2015, maybe 2016. And every year or two, I think about it and then watch it again. And because it's so soft in its presentation, like it's very subtle, I'm able to put most of it out of my mind, like right away. And then something happens and it triggers the memory of this movie to me. And half the time I'll go back and watch it again. It's always a slow, enjoyable, like a nice vanilla milkshake of intellectual quandary.
I mean, it's not even really incest.
Yeah, it is, but not in a repulsive way.
You know what? It's not really my thing, but I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's just
it's not a bad movie. I'm just working out the.
It's making you think about it, right? It's making you think about it.
I only think about it while we're talking about it. Once I'm done, I'll completely go, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't catch who was the actress that played Jane in the movie. I didn't catch her name.
Snook, Sarah Snook.
I'm not even. She looks familiar, but I can't tell you anything.
Yeah,
that she's
Sarah
been in.
Snook. She's been in a few things. Hold on.
Yeah.
You might know her.
Well, Sleeping Beauty was a good film.
Oh, she was a flatmate in Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, she was. Oddball, maybe? No, I don't think you have seen that movie.
No.
She was the assistant in the Steve Jobs movie.
The Glass Castle.
With Michael Fassbender in it. That one was actually really good.
You watch all of Black Mirror? She was in an episode of that.
No, I've never seen that show, but I was just wondering. I think I've seen her before. I just couldn't. I didn't know. I don't know her name.
Yeah, she's been in stuff, right? You know.
Well, she's not a Hollywood
Jezebel.
beauty, so I think that's the other reason that she's not been cast in a lot of big things.
Well, they kind of made their money back with this film. The budget was $5 million.
But what did they cost to produce?
I have no idea, but they got box office was box office was 5.4 million, so they got 0.4 back.
No, but yeah, they did make their money back because whatever made the box office, the theaters take half of that. So.
Yeah, they got to almost double like the product cost of the movie to start making money, right? Isn't that the rule of thumb usually?
Yeah.
She was in a movie called Blood Brothers. I highly recommend you watch. 2011.
The brothers who do this, they always seek to cast lesser known actors in their film. Well, good for them.
Yeah.
The later comparing Snook acting ability to that of the following Australian actress Caitlin
Blanchett.
You just butcher those last names, don't you?
Okay. I have this upstairs neighbor, and I don't care if you can hear me. This is what... Okay, hold on. I didn't mean to kick him out. I have this upstairs neighbor who's older than me. He's probably in his 60s. And he's dating somebody who's also most likely in their 60s. And this is what I got woke up to the other day. I don't care that you cheated on me. I care that you cheated on me with my mother.
Okay.
And they've been fighting ever since.
The 80-year-old? Or is the woman the one that was cheating on the mother?
I don't know.
I just blew his mind when I said that one.
Now, after watching this film, I want nothing to do with that conversation. You should go up there and tell them they should watch Predestination.
Actually,
take your camera with you. I want to see it on the YouTube.
Actually, what you need to do after you hear that is said, look. These walls are kind of paper thin. I think this book might be for you, and you hand them Time Enough for Love, where he sleeps with his own mother. He sleeps with like his whole family line, himself. You know.
I just want to go up there with a Bible and tell them to read it.
Are you talking about so they know so they know how to do incest?
No, you should hand them a copy of Oedipus Rex.
Anywho, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting weekend.
I just see Connell in his bed at night after hearing that, just shivering like, oh, please make it stop. Please make it stop.
And then putting on Predestination. Like, fuck you.
The title of this episode is Reviewing 2014. The name of the movie. You know, the movie about self-love. So Anyway, so here, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, because that's right, today's Palm Sunday, so of course that
Yep.
makes sense. The next time we get together, we will be doing Mark's pick, which is the Time Machine.
Yeah. The
The original Time Machine,
the
not
1961. Yeah.
I think I should be able to find that movie.
I think I posted. It's free on somewhere. I think I posted it in the Discord a while back.
Yeah, you did.
Wasn't it free on YouTube?
May have,
It
yeah,
could
may even be on YouTube free. I don't remember, but I put it in the Discord chat a while back.
Probably find it at your local library as well.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, but that probably takes more work than scrolling up in the Discord chat.
People should spend more time at your local library. They are treasures to themselves.
Hey, my local library has games, and it's going to be in 2 weeks where we're going to have the game stuff. And then we also have, and then we have a little mini con that's going on where we got free dice.
Ooh.
They gave us this. Well, no, it's only 7, but I used it for other stuff too. But yeah, we got that. And we also got, but apparently they were getting some GMT games. Those were like $80 games for free. They just gave it to them. So it's pretty awesome. My library is really good. I can't complain. That everyone complains about taxes, but I don't mind my taxes if they feel like I'm going towards something besides someone's pocketbook. So,
well, I know here in Illinois, I don't know about Indiana, but here in Illinois, we're about ready to hit orange season, which means all the roads are going to be being worked on.
Well, wait a minute. Well, they'll strike if it's a new legislature and they have a new job. But no, it's yeah. I don't
know if you guys have the same issue over in Indiana that we do over here, Mark.
Yeah, pretty much.
Orange season.
Orange season, yeah. So, Mark, I am thankful that you're able to join us.
I got this shit went sideways here at work this afternoon. So
between health issues, my daughter issues, and just life in general, I completely understand.
How's she doing, by the
way? She's good. The doctor wants her to take it easy, but of course she has got in her mind that she'll be starting taking ceramic classes over at the community college coming Thursday.
Well, that's different. There's a difference if she's going to be like E.O. Geek's daughter that's playing, soccer the entire time. Bored, and then if she's doing a ceramics class, I mean, it should be fine.
Ceramics is like.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that we aren't watching Ghost. No.
And then you get molested by a dead guy.
If you like this, baby, we'll continue doing this, but keep in mind when you turn old enough to get arrested for something dumb, you'll no longer have fingerprints.
So Justin, you're talking about Wonder Woman 1984?
Hey, there's only one.
No. You will get molested by a dead guy, not molest a dead guy.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference. Subtle, but it's there.
So this is what I'm going to call it, because I think we've basically hammered this self-loving guy, time traveling to death. Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting hook for a campaign. I recommend doing it in a module that's more like Doctor Who than D&D, or more fitting for it than your average fantasy one. Decide to go that route. Everybody out there, you have a lovely Sunday, and if you celebrate Easter or Passover, happy holidays on both, and we'll see you next time we see you. Well, next time you see us, yeah, we'll go with that. Take it easy. People out there, if you like your superhero RPG games, go check out Bear, the Generation XD channel. He's got something going on. If you don't already know, you need to go figure it out.
XD,
that too. Everybody out there, go give him some love. Give all these people in the panel some love. Omen, when he decides to do his own channel, which will be never. Mark and me here soon will be doing the Dresden Files, probably after the holiday. And after we get done with the Dresden Files, me and Justin will take a hard look at the
Gilmore
Powder
Girls.
Blue.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the Gilmore Girls. I'm gonna rip out every political context hidden in every episode.
Yes, there will be some alcohol involved. All right, talk to you all later.
And baby lotion.
Whoa. Good sir.
I get accused of being weird about that show, so
That, sir, is a sin.
I don't know.